Hello, guys and gals, and everyone in between. Thank you for coming back to Empire of the Ghouls. Always awesome to have you there. As always, I'm your humble dungeon master, Mackenzie Hahn. You can find me at Kenzie the Hahn on Twitter. You can also find me Sunday on Throats and Bones. Let's kick it to Sloan.
Hello, lads. It's me. Hi, I'm Sloan, aka Arfleep. And I'm playing Goosh Bushel, our little mushroom folk barbarian. Sawyer. If he's there.
Oh, there we go.
You're there. We got you. We're reading you loud and clear.
Immaculate.
Very cool. Very fun. Hi, I'm Sawyer. I use he, him pronouns. I'm playing our good boy Solus, our paladin. I'll kick it over to Alex.
That's Alex. That's me. Hi, I'm Alex. You can find me on Twitter at ActorFeet. I'm pretty swell. I'm gonna kick it over to my friend Friday. How you doing, Friday?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you. And I play Vivian. You can find me on Twitter. It's Friday TV. And I think it is time for Sloan.
I already went, but Doc.
Oh, it's my turn. Hi, friends. I'm Dot. She, her pronouns. I'm playing Yuki, our resident Darrow, and we're here for shenanigans.
Oh,
Always in store
boy.
for some good shenanigans.
And shenanigans you shall have. Now, if you guys were here last time, you'll remember that we did fight in these catacombs of Zobeck, and the party was able to fell the dreaded Phylexia Belshaeth. And as the battle concluded, Iskander, if you'll recall, there was a surge of energy throughout the room as Iskander's body began to ascend. Now, for a split second, Iskander, you awakened to the chamber around you, your friend's eyes fixed on you, before you felt this wave of energy fill your veins and expel outwards into the room. I would like everyone to make a really quick wisdom saving throw for me.
Oh no.
Okie dokie.
Wisdom saving throw? I don't think I'm very wise.
Oh. Oh no.
Oh my god. I'm never going to have luck rolling on Shard. Not ever.
Oh.
The DC is not that
Dead
high,
River.
so
I got a 16. I'm shocked.
I rolled a 7.
Oof.
16, 7. Let's
Yoink.
see, Iskander.
15.
Vivian.
I got
Excellent. Okay, so everyone passed their wisdom saving throw.
I
Oh,
rolled
okay.
a 4.
I am aware.
Okay.
I am aware. Okay, so all of you begin to experience the same thing, but separately, as your eyes flash white and your vision begins to fill with this blinding white haze. You see Iskander's body lift off the ground. Whatever was stored in that locket sent a surge of energy across all of you. You slowly see, and this is something that all of you see, as this light sort of blinds you and sort of disorients you, it begins to fade and you feel the power subside a little bit, just enough for a figure to come into view. And Solus and Iskander, you will recognize this figure as the humble shade seer that you met in the marketplace on your first day. And she greets your entire group with a very warm smile as like the lines by her eyes begin to crinkle and deepen with memory and mirth. And she points a finger at you and beckons for you all to come a little bit closer.
Okay.
Hey, guys!
I sort of
I thought we survived. Did we die?
You can't hear each other, by the way.
We can't hear each other?
You're not conscious right now.
Oh.
I start running at this woman with my axe raised.
Fun.
You're stopped by an imperceivable wall as this figure, and this is something that you all see, although you don't all see Goosh Rush, only Goosh sees Goosh Rush, as you're all sort of experiencing a secular but shared dream. So she smiles at you, and she begins to turn to what you can now see is a very weathered, wrinkled hand on her shoulder, and she steps aside just enough for this other figure for you to see. And what each of you see, you step closer, and the full figure comes into view. You see what appears to be this ineffably ancient crone. She's standing with the help of her large cane, and why wouldn't she? You see that she has incredibly rail thin legs, and her entire body weight is being supported by this hefty cane. Her eyes are so sunken you can barely make them out. They're sunken into the lines of her like unknowably ageless face. She has these long, fine strands and strings of hair just barely framing a very gaunt looking face. She seems simultaneously an old friend and a waking nightmare.
Oh, fun.
You're
but behind that,
beautiful.
Am I tripping right now? Did one of you sneak drugs into my food? What's
You could
happening?
see the figure's ears pointed from beyond the very thin strands of hair twitch at the sound of your voice. She glances down at the Shade Woman. They share an exchanged look of gratitude before the Shade Woman sort of breathes out and melts and dissipates into this blue ethereal smoke. And Iskander and Solus, you I'm not going to make you roll because you inherently and instinctively know what is happening to you right now. You are all under the effect of a magically augmented memento mori. And for those of you who don't know, in the world of Midgard, a memento mori is something treasured given from a shade to a person, or given from a person to a shade. It is a powerful house of memory, basically. You could tell that the magic within this memory has been augmented so that it's not so much a memory, but it could be if you play your cards right. Let's see.
I swore to myself I would never end up in one of these again.
Oh, Goosh, my beloved.
Do you
Making
turn-
promises so soon. Sorry.
You turn to this woman, you see her staring at you, or into you, rather, before she waves her bony fingers and the haze around you dissipates. We're not going to combat, but I would like all of you to roll initiative so we can see what order we go in right now.
What's happening, man?
Oh,
hey! Ooh, we got an unnatural
Ooh.
20.
Iskander and
Okay.
I, we tied.
We both rolled 15s. Shade 15. Oh,
I'm gonna go ahead and do alphabetical order there. Yuki, what did you roll?
A 5.
5. And Vivian, what did you roll?
15.
15. Okay, so for the 15s, we're just going to go in alphabetical order. So, Goosh, as this haze dissipates, you see around you, you are surrounded on all sides. You're in the middle of some kind of draw or valley, but surrounded on all sides by these big, beautiful, snowy peaks. You see in the distance the shape of a chapel, and it's backlit by this beautiful aurora, the midnight stars. You can hear sounds of rejoicing, partying, something is going down in this chapel. You're willing to bet, it's a chapel, probably a wedding, people getting rowdy, but the raucous sounds of this chapel become more and more like garbled hunger. And from the insides of this chapel, you see the wedding goers burst out, armed to the teeth, ghouls in Darakul and vampires in Dampiers, rejoicing in unholy sacrilege. And before you stands a ghoulish groom and a rather bloody vampiric bride. Before you turn back to the woman, and your vision ends and you awake back on the floor of the chamber. Let's see. Iskander. as this bright haze sort of dissipates and unfogs and unclouds itself, you find yourself weirdly close to home, surrounded by this vast and endless sea of desert. You can see very near to you someone very familiar, your friend Farah, holding out a very long, she's a tall, beautiful woman, holding out her hand to you. Behind her are grave binders, the most powerful in the world at a building you know to be the necropolis in the deserts of Seawall, chanting some sort of binding spell. But you can't quite understand them. It's almost like Simlish to you right now. And then you feel the vision fade as you wake back up on the chamber floor. Soulless. You find yourself chasing various ghouls in Darakul in the heat of battle. Constantly, they're just escaping your swings and blows. Heated, panting, covered in blood. You look around trying to find survivors. You just don't know why you're compelled to. And you turn and you see this regally dressed woman with a crown adorning her head, dark raven hair, a very regal bone structure about her, a very commanding presence, just pearls draped around her face from this crown as she tries to help the wounded around her. And as you rush to help these villagers, you find yourself stumbling into this black pit that never seems to end. And right before you hit the ground beneath you, you wake back up on the chamber floor. Vivian, you are in a place that you never wanted to go back to, as you see a lake outside of this giant burning fortress. This lake that once was beautiful, once was a wonderful sight outside of a city that you know now is filled with blood. You see it rippling underneath the surface. And as you approach, just out of sheer curiosity, you see a beautiful young mermaid reach out her hand and act like she's begging you for your assistance. From your side, you see this tall, muscular shield maiden in these red and gold robes come and try to save her, try and grab her hand before a spear plunges her heart. And you turn to see who threw it. And you feel a faint feeling of dread and recognition before you see the face. But just as your vision turns to gaze on it, you wake back up on the chamber floor. Yuki, you are traveling the paths from Zobeck to the Feywilds, paths you know to belong to the Shadow Fae. Now, normally, y'all dabble in the same stuff, so they don't bother you, but you get this overwhelming sensation of fear. You instinctively turn to grab Narla, maybe give her a stroke or two, but you can feel the muscles underneath her coat start to contort and grow and grow and grow until standing before you is on hind legs, a giant black-coated, red-eyed Narla. At least you think it's Narla. In front of Narla is now this bubbling cauldron, and around it are pieces of what appear to be a codex, although that codex is incomplete. You see Narla grab you and attempt to drop you within this cauldron, and as the waves of whatever is inside it splash over your face, it wakes you up, and you too awake on the chamber floor as the power dissipates into nothing but white and ethereal blue smoke.
Oh,
What would you like to do?
I don't think I should have eaten that spider. I usually don't have this much trouble, but for some reason this time around, it really got me. Ah,
Did Solus recognize this raven-haired, pearl-clad woman, or is this just?
Go ahead and roll a history check for me.
Oh, I'm so good at those.
ooh, no, bud. Tragedy.
She looks
Is that even
really
a
rich.
person? Who's to say?
Yeah. And suddenly the memory is not quite
God,
potent as it was a mere second ago.
cool.
I just had a weird dream where there were a lot of like ghouls. Actually, they were all like having a celebration. And then there were two bloody ones that looked like they were getting married in the cathedral.
Charming.
It was very strange. Lots of white mountains.
Is Iskander still down from the fight?
Oh no, actually, so fun fact, the memento mori was powerful enough to bring you all back to full speed. It seems as though that was the
Wow.
intent of it all along. As
Oh,
though someone
dang.
knew what was gonna happen.
So when you say full speed, does that mean we should take like a long rest? Is that what that means?
It's okay. OOC metagame. That is gonna count as a long rest just because of the sheer power of the wave that hit you all.
Yeah. What was that?
I don't know.
Guys,
Mm.
I'm scared.
Oh, Yuki, why are you scared? There's nothing to be scared of. It was a
So many.
dream.
No, something's not right. I can feel it.
It was probably the blast of energy that came off of our friend. Iskander, are you okay?
Okay.
Solus is gonna walk over to Iskander like he was doing in the first place, to kind of check him over. You alright?
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you. I know what that was, and it's really the first time I've ever experienced something like that, but from what I understand it to be, it shouldn't have been like that.
Yes. I think you're right. If you're we're thinking the same thing.
But who's powerful enough to put us all in the same dream?
Did we would Iskander have recognized the crone?
Go ahead and make a history check. Anybody that wants to see if they can recall.
Who was that old lady? And the one behind her was
Oh,
so
yeah.
old.
The old
I
teach
agree.
was beautiful. A 12.
Okay.
An 11.
A 2.
You seem to remember the description of her from somewhere, but you can't quite remember where. Almost like a
woman.
story you heard at a bar or tavern. Maybe your mom told it to you as a kid,
Oh,
but it is a distant memory.
so lost. Maybe she's the lady of my dreams.
Okay.
Well,
So you have a lot of dreams about ladies?
No, that's why this one's so special.
Oh. Ah.
Vivian's gonna look around for Rosalind and then also the city official. Are they still in the area?
Yes, they are.
Oh.
They too were knocked out by this blast, but they're starting to come to their feet. They're coming to, sort of brushing themselves off from the dust and all the glitter and confetti on the ground from this indulgent ritual.
perhaps it might be better to get our bearings, take a second, and make sure everyone is all right, and then worry about what just happened.
And we should probably get the girl back to her parents. Maybe.
Oh yeah, I had an idea. She
Oh.
could take Narla.
Was it this true? We should go with her though, so she doesn't get taken the second time. Right?
Yes.
I would feel more comfortable if we did go with her, at least for Brick's sake.
Well, what does
Right,
the
so-
girl want?
Oh,
You girl. What
Yes.
you are
smooth.
you wanted to your parents are looking for you. You've been missing for some time. Do you want us to go back with you up to the surface or
They must be so worried I've been gone for so long. Thank you. Thank you. I was about to die.
Yeah, you want to talk
Or about
about
to
that,
die.
maybe?
Yes, how did you come to be in the situation of being about to die?
Well, I remember. My father asked me to go to the store. The little a pawn shop down the street. Maybe you saw it. Because it sounds like you talked to him. But anyway, he wanted me to pick up all the old pewter so that we could melt it down and start making more fine materials instead of just, swords and armor and stuff. And when I got home and set it down, I noticed that someone left the back door open. So when I went to close it, I was just blindsided by God's knows who. And I woke up in this room with red curtains and pillows everywhere. And I mean, that's where I was for a couple days until they brought me out here for whatever this was.
Who brought you out here?
And she points down to the cracked porcelain features of the now dead Phylexia and says, well, her.
But,
Oh.
did you meet her boss?
You mean there's more of that?
Okay, I can see that the girl's a little shook up and a little disoriented.
Yes.
So we
Can I
should
search
probably-
Phalexia's body real quick?
Yes, you can.
That's a good idea. I want to make sure that the important
Oh,
person.
Holy moly.
Oh.
Mm,
Oh,
Nat
okay. Beautiful. So you find this beautiful silver key with some sort of like stained red glass up top. You could tell from the decorations around the room that it probably goes to other rooms down here.
Okay.
Okay.
You also find 400 gold pieces.
Oh,
Delicious.
Loaded.
And I will say with that investigation check, you find you see this spear, now that it's laying beside Phylexia, is actually beautifully ornamentally crafted, and is probably pretty valuable, as is the holy symbol to the red goddess Marina, made from rubies, that sits around her neck.
Huh.
You also, pardon me for a second, I'm trying to
Take your time. Go on.
You also find this note on her person, and I'm going to
Ooh,
give it to you guys.
Okay. Should somebody read it?
I'll read it out loud.
Okay.
Ms. Balesheth, congratulations on your new post. Your predecessor was quite reluctant to communicate, and I trust you are a better correspondent. The bearer of this letter is my agent, Boris Krull, whom I have tasked with assisting you in whatever way you desire. He is particularly adept at acquiring prey and might so well in procuring lambs for your goddess's altar. He brings with him one of our latest acquisitions, an oafish lout indeed, but this acquisition should prove effective in defending your new position, though do be sure to keep him well fed. Shrouds.
Can we go back to the lamb to slaughter part?
Yeah.
is it's pretty on the
that-
nose.
Boris Cruel must have been the man that we tied up and left in that other room.
Yeah, that guy. Maybe that lout, the office lout, maybe is the other thing that we killed that was killing
The-
all the other people.
That would make the most
Maybe.
sense.
Does this girl seem medically okay?
Um,
Other than being malnourished?
Yeah, she's a little shaken up, a little bruised around the manacled areas, but other than that, other than some obvious emotional trauma, she seems to be doing relatively okay.
Okay, so
I want to make sure that the official doesn't like try and get away. I couldn't really get a read on whether she wanted to be here or didn't want to be
she
here.
seemed very confused.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to, you can go ahead and roll an insight check.
Oh, sure.
I'm going to give you advantage since she sees you as a sort of savior right now.
Oh, I
Oh.
got a 17.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, so looking at her, seeing her dust off her official's robes, sort of still coming to terms with what is going on around her, you get the sense that she might not have been completely in control of her facilities. And as she looks around, you catch the briefest glimpse, insightful goosh, of a little bit of self-loathing as she realizes her role in what has gone down here.
Yeah, you,
Yes.
very official-looking lady. You are really cutting a rug down here. How did you get here?
Well, to be honest, I've never really found myself in this situation before. And
It all happens to us once. Would you like an escort up to the top side? We are probably going back.
I will be fine. Miss Turner, if you would like to join me, I shall reunite you with your parents. I'm sure they would love to see you. And if you may, I would like to put together a full inquisition as to this cult's practices within our city, see if we can't drive it out.
Yes,
Would you be willing to testify?
And the Kobold boy, he's innocent.
Yes.
Right.
Rick,
Make sure you protest his innocence.
How do we know you're not just going to step out of here and then sneak the girl off into a meat pie or something?
Ugh.
That is a good point.
a meat.
Yeah.
It's not a
Pie made of
metaphor.
meat,
I
like
mean
from a
literal.
pig.
Yes, literally.
I'm not going to make the girl a pie of meat.
Solus is gonna walk
Insight check.
Yeah, go ahead and insight check.
19.
She does not
Let's
have a
go.
hungering for human flesh, no.
But does she
Okay.
seem sincere? That she's not gonna hurt the girl at a dirty 20?
A dirty 20.
Ooh.
You can tell that Yuki, for some reason, you sense madness within people. You know that darkness. You don't feel any of it.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. She seems trustworthy. She's as basic as Carrot. There's
Fair
nothing
enough.
evil about her, even though she is a politician.
Fair enough.
There are anomalies.
I think that's a very unfair
Hey,
perception.
look, I'm
I'm
giving
gonna-
you credit. I'm saying you're not like all the politicians.
You know what? You're right. I appreciate it.
Vivian's
I'm going to go do it.
Vivian's
This-
gonna step over and introduce herself. Hello, I am Vivian. Actually, I was just hoping to catch you later tonight if you would be free to go over some of these details that we covered here today.
Oh, yes, actually, that would be excellent. I do seem to be missing a few details from this entire experience, if I'm being quite honest. Yes, that would be
Oh,
wonderful.
you should meet us at Brick's uncle's place. He has some really good rat on a stick.
Oh, that's not necessary. You can just tell me where your office is, or if you would like to be more comfortable, just tell me where you live, and I will stop by tonight.
Do you want to come to my house? You want to come to my
whatever's-
home?
Whatever's more comfortable for you. I assume you have a guard or two, right?
My district offices are next to the guard station here in this particular district of Zobeck. You can call me there. You can talk to my assistant. Her name's Penelope. Just tell her I sent you and that you're there for a little interview, a brief statement.
Right.
She'll see you through.
Oh, wonderful. I will be there tonight, then.
Okay. I will be sure to wrap up my day. I hope
So-
it's going to be a long day.
So, Solus,
Still going back to work.
How
Wow.
how should we feel about what just went down? Because we know what's gonna happen.
You're just yelling this.
I'm
No,
assuming
no,
this is a
no.
little tete-a-tete.
This is like a this Iskandar's being very quiet right now.
Shakespeare calls this an
Is this-
aside.
Is this a shade huddle? Is this a
Shade huddle.
Shade huddle.
Shade huddle. I'm gonna need you to be a little more specific about which just happened. You mean? Do you mean the fight, the murder, the sacrifice, or the memento mori?
No, more so the let's say dinner acquisitions just made by Vivian.
You know what? I find it better to just let her do her thing and kind of mitigate damage as she goes. It can't stop her, so why try?
What
You
are
know?
guys whispering about?
Dinner. I'm hungry.
Solus
Sit between Solus's legs. What are you
Matt,
whispering about? Oh no.
See a little
Going
mushroom
to-
head pop
Solus is
up.
gonna
and
turn back to the
forget you.
official. Solus is gonna like kind of pat his head absently and just kind of turn and kind of offer his. I'm sure now like he's gonna wipe his hand off on his pants because he realizes I just touched this slimy little mushroom dude.
Oh,
Gonna
no.
off- For his hand to then he's gonna offer his hand and go, Solus of House Clastamont, I hope you don't mind if I tag along for the debrief.
Yes, he's actually a lord. Is very impressive.
Yes, well, we're obviously well aware of House Glassmont here. Yes, of course, my lord. You would be welcome in my offices. Would you like to come with your friend later?
Is she gesturing at a specific friend, or does she just mean everyone with? Oh, Vivian, I'm dumb.
Vivian.
I'm
No,
dumb. Never mind.
And
we don't say that here.
to
You're
be
very
quite
tall.
honest, it's very it's so much. It's a lot to take in when you're around a lord for so often, because I am just a lowly bard girl, and I have no royalty at all or any distinguish anything about me. So it's been it's been actually quite princely to be around such a distinguished lord such as Solus here.
As she talks,
you
you
wanna
just
go
see
ahead and
Solus
roll
just.
a deception check for me really quick, if you'd be so kind.
Oh yeah, we need to talk about that. Hey, Vivian, that person seems to know quite a lot about you. Do you know each other?
Oh,
He's 17.
You're right. It would be inappropriate for me to deal with him directly. You're right.
Right, I actually handle most of Solus's business
Oh,
like that, and I
as
manage
she's
to
saying,
sort of scheduling things.
Vivian, a word. Just
Oh
don't-
yes,
just
my
gonna
lord,
lean
of
in.
course.
Hey, just very close to it. You push. Ned.
And Vivian,
You're
while
pushing
she's
it.
listening, is just gonna like smile and nod.
Mhm. He's gonna lean back. I would be so honored to attend this meeting with my. He looks at her. Valet page. We have to find a name for you. But I very much look forward to it.
As much as I
Wonderful.
do, my lord. Thank you.
Oh, you don't. That's not. There's no.
You're
Out.
right. You're right. I'm being excessive. All right. I will bring the Turner girl back to her parents and begin the long and arduous process of this.
If she
investigation.
dies, we know it was you.
I find your mistrust in me a little bit misplaced, but I can't say that I don't understand. All right.
And Vivian's gonna lean into I'm sorry, what is this woman's name? Did we find out?
Malanka Vandemic.
Alanka. She's gonna lean in and say, "Oh, my lord always says don't bow, but make sure you do the bow because he likes to feel like he's being very gracious. So just keep doing the bow each time."
I understand. They need to maintain some sort of
Right. It's
humility.
Right. It's very important.
but
Yeah.
it's hard. I completely
This is by
trust
far
me,
my
I
favorite
completely
dynamic in this group.
I love them.
Where are we going from here? What are we
You
doing?
see that Yuki has missed all of this and goes,
God
I
bless.
have a question.
Question.
Yeah, yes, Yuki.
Yes.
Yuki is leaning over the pool of blood at the far end of the chamber and goes, "What are we gonna do with all this blood?"
Is
I-
a lot of blood.
I think we
Well-
could just leave it.
Actually, that's a very good question. Does anybody have extra water skins? Because, you know.
I felt it was kind
Um,
of diluted. Do you want to drink this?
No, I would never drink such a thing and then looks over at the official and then, like, looks back. It's for research, obviously.
Right.
To sort of
Research.
investigate the cause of all of these sacrifices and, you know,
I
perhaps
taste it.
look into
Taste
the
it?
magic.
Oh, Yuki, you taste it?
Yeah, hell yeah. Why not?
Oh no.
Okay.
She's she's gonna
Questions
look at the
asked before
official and say,
disaster.
"I apologize for the you know, somewhat barbaric actions of some of the entourage, but you know, in dangerous times, we have to be dealing with somewhat you know, more."
Yuki, go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw.
Let's see. Against spells. Okay. Yes, that's not a spell. Okay. What's the 6?
Ooh,
Okay, so
boy.
you suddenly feel pretty silver tongued. You feel like a little smooth talker, you know?
Hey
You
guys!
feel like you can accomplish anything.
I have to be
um,
honest.
but
I
you-
killed it in that
next-
fight back there.
For the next minute, kind of similarly to the way Malanka was dancing earlier, you are overcome with this unbridled euphoria as you begin to dance throughout the area of this chamber by the blood fountain.
I don't know what's in there, but it's good.
Oh, that is really not. I don't think that's just blood.
Body roll, body roll.
Not the body roll.
You know, I'm not gonna lie; those are some pretty good moves.
They are.
Right.
There's definitely
Narla
something in
taught
there.
me.
Oh,
Huh.
I kind of want to get a little bit
I-
of that as well. If I
I
can
don't-
maybe take a little bit.
I don't think.
If you are going to also drink some, I need you to also make a Constitution.
Yeah,
saving.
absolutely. I'll
Oh.
put my entire face in there, or what looks like my face. Just face
Great
In-
choices, gang.
into the blood. A Constitution saving throw. That is a 19. Can I choose to fail it?
Just a one sip of alcohol and you're just already just like.
Oh, you're like, please stay drunk.
I will say, how about since you're diving your whole face into it, you can roll at disadvantage.
Heck yes. Give it to me.
I
Oh yeah,
got
you begin body rolling with Yuki right there next to the fountain.
Oh,
It's
yes.
just
Oh.
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but something may be up with this pool of blood.
I don't know what it is, but it is good for partying.
Yeah.
This mushroom has a lot of mass. You just undulate.
Just a lot of donk.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Vivian's gonna lean over to Solus and just whisper, "It is their first time drinking blood. It is very embarrassing."
Solus is a genuine just chuckle. Stop it.
So, before I started body rolling, I had a plan.
Can you
Now-
think of it?
Yeah, wait, it's
are there
curious.
any-
Oh no! I think Yuki's broken.
what's up?
Oh.
And Solus was saying something.
Sorry, I just got so I
distracted
got
by
so
the-
taken aback by the body rolling that I couldn't. I want to know if there are any doors that, like they match this key specifically. that
oh,
I
you have a
found.
key.
Yes. So actually, as you sort of like collect your bearings, kind of rolling your eyes around at your dancing party members, you see 2 hallways to the north and 2 hallways to the south.
Oh.
Each has a number of doors connected to it.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
So, as much as I'm having a good time, I'm thinking maybe we shouldn't leave this behind.
The blood? I mean, there's a lot of it. How are we supposed to get it out of here?
Well, I know you may not believe me, but I am in fact a doctor. And most people don't know that blood is roughly like 90% water. I could simply
Go
destroy.
on.
I could simply destroy all the water, and
That's a
mess
lot
up
of
the
water.
concoction. Yeah, how much water do you think?
That's oh my god, that's a lot of water. How many
Yeah.
gallons of blood are in here,
In
Mackenzie?
gallons.
I'm gonna need a quick gallon check on how much blood is in here.
Yes, now comes the math portion of D&D.
So
Continuing question.
while
is
they're
it-
doing
is it-
calculus over there, Vivian is going to sort of reach out and, if allowed, touch the elbow of the official and like start to like gently lead her towards the door, and just small talk with her along the way.
She's gabbing away with you.
Okay.
Just
And
walking right alongside you.
Vivian's gonna ask what type of wine that she likes.
Oh.
Oh, you touched on my favorite subject. I am partial to a Merlot, a nice red, with the red meat. Now,
Oh.
of course, if we're going with fish, if it's a fish dinner you're looking for, a Pinot Grigio would just be spot on.
Right.
Why,
And
what
do you
kind of-
do you think you're do you have some at your office? I think after the very
I'm
taxing
sure
days that we had,
collection.
right? Oh, that sounds very good. And you're going back with Rosalind. Where's Rosalind? Rosalind.
Coming. I'm sorry. It is just wicked dance moves. I never can do it.
And I'm going to I think I know we've only just met, and perhaps this is a bit inappropriate, but I'm going to miss you terribly. But if you could leave now, we can handle the rest of what is going on with this and make sure that you and your interests are taken care of.
You have no idea how much I appreciate it. The day that I've had today has been unbelievable. I'll be sure to meet you at my offices later, and I'll save you a nice 20-year-old bottle of Merlot. We can share it together. Talk
fair.
about your lord and everything.
It's very exciting. It's very exciting. So, goodbye. And then she's going to just give her a pat and then like try and shut the stone door behind them.
She's just like looking back as you shove her. Goodbye. Like she just made a new best friend, and she's very hesitant to leave in case you forget about her. But you close the door.
What a vibe.
Rosalind.
The pandemic is real. Okay, so
I love Moira Rose. She's my favorite.
Oh my god.
That's all I can see in here.
Got a crazy wig. That's a topical Schitt's Creek reference for all you folks watching at home.
Topical.
Okay, and Vivian's just gonna return, and we're doing blood congealing or something.
Yeah. So I have questions. If my body rolling has subsided, I would actually like to test it and see what's in this with my
Ooh.
alchemy kit.
Neat.
Mm.
That's really rad.
It never hurts to be a druid, right? I'm like, Narla, get over here. And yeah.
Yes, so you can go ahead and do it on what appears to be roughly 450 gallons of this blood.
Good.
Okay, so I've got to be honest. I
into
could
60 cubic feet.
I could spend the rest of today and potentially the rest of the week pulling all of the water out of this, or I could just try to figure out what's in it and see if we can,
We could just put some garlic in it and make it taste really bad. I mean, that's just good, really.
garlic. I wonder if I have any of that. I would like to know though. What's in it?
Is that true?
Can I make a medicine check at advantage with my proficiency because of the alchemy kit?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say you can do that.
Okay. Please tell me what's in this. Oh, a 23. I'll
Ooh.
take that.
Okay, a 23. You can tell that there is a mixture of water in here, but there's also the blood of several different types of creatures. They're so intercommingled, it is difficult to discern what they are exactly, but you can tell it's more than one type of creature,
Okay.
and that it has been enchanted with some kind of illusion school magic that just produces euphoria. It's a party drug fountain made with blood.
Okay, well, to no surprise,
That's rad.
this is a euphoric substance. It's got lots of different blood in it. So
Ew.
I have a plan B, which is we could simply destroy, when you can't get rid of the liquid, just destroy the cup.
That sounds great. Wait, so where should I swing?
And smash it so it's just spills out.
And there's a fountain.
So there's actually the large head of a gargoyle like above it, like spewing blood into this fountain.
Ah! And I'm gonna turn my great axe, so I'm using the flat side, and I'm just gonna give it a big old swing at that head.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say it takes a few whacks because it's got a thick old gargoyle neck, but you managed to clobber it off and break it off.
Yeah, okay. I'm with you.
All right. After a little bit, it stops flowing. You can get some, so obviously there's going to be an investigation down here. You can let them know what this pool is and what it does, and hope that people don't take it home for recreational use, I guess.
Well, that's why I was hoping to spill it. Can we just break the edge of the?
Oh, you want me to like put it everywhere?
Yeah, spill it out. That way they can't even put any more liquid in it. Oh, wait,
Okay.
before you do, I fill up 2 vials.
Vivian, I don't know if you actually want this because there's a lot of different kinds of blood in here. But if you do,
No,
by
it
the
doesn't.
way, this will give you drinking this will give you advantage on charisma checks.
Okay.
I feel so socially acceptable right now.
It's
Even though you are in a drug-induced stupor akin to
I have
like
blood
ecstasy.
dripping down my face and congealing on my body. I feel so socially
so good.
acceptable right now.
Yeah, I would just break
Delicious.
the fountain. Just burst it
I'm just
open.
gonna try and break the walls of this so that the blood overflows and like spills across the floor, and just like so it doesn't stick around. So it just like spills out and then congeals.
Absolutely. Go ahead and make a strength check for me.
Yeah. Which like, ooh.
Okay, so it takes a few clobbers and a few, but you're finally able to break the wall of this this fountain as the sort of diluted watery blood mixture just out onto the chamber floor.
Okay.
And we squish across it.
Okay. Now you have a key. Which door?
Well, that's a great question.
The exterior of the doors look relatively similar.
Yeah. There's no reason to go one over the other. We just choose one and then we go, right?
Are the doors at the edge of the hallway like here? Like
Okay, so the doors are there's one right there and one directly across from it. One
nice,
right
okay.
here and one directly
Gotcha.
across from it, and same on the other side,
Right.
the south side.
perfect.
Neat,
Perfect.
Perhaps it's a skeleton key. Maybe it just goes to every lock here.
Probably
Ah.
does.
Only one way to find out. I take the key, we open the doors as fast as we can.
Okay.
Okay, ready? I take the key, 3, 2, 1, go, and I'm gonna run. And
Fair enough.
I'm gonna start
Good one, go.
here.
Are you gonna take it from Solus?
Oh yeah,
You
I
just
run up
take it
and
from
try and
Solus,
snag
like,
it.
out of his hand. Solus, arm in the air.
Okay.
Oh, don't make me grip you with my feet.
Goosh, I think Solus
Solus
wants
is
to do it. You do it.
Don't ever say that to me again. Solus is just gonna walk to down the hallway with Goosh in tow, I suppose.
Yes.
Because if I could
which
click on my icon, please. This one right here.
Please.
Okay, and you
I
would
can
like
see Vivian right on my tail.
the one on the right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
and let me go ahead and
Yeah, see?
reveal this to you.
Oh,
Oh.
cute. It's very
Okay.
boho.
And She's a little boho. This chamber is bedecked with pillowed divans and plush ottomans, which surround a central circular bed. Beneath the satin sheets, a flaxen-haired, elf-marked woman lies beside the body of a human. And the second she sees you, she throws her hands in the air, sensing the lack of connection to her mistress.
Oh no.
Close the door. Close the door.
Why are we closing the door? She seems fine. She's in a sort of contour with her pants down, if you know what I mean.
I don't.
If you'd allow me to just pick up my pants really quick.
Yeah,
They're right
yeah,
there.
Sure.
Just let me-
right.
Mhm,
So it's just
mhm.
averts eyes anywhere but her. Just
Mm.
Please don't look at my
the
back.
human look fine. Did the human look alive?
Yes.
Okay. Like, is he conscious?
Yeah, he's pretty sweaty.
Good for
Mm.
What? I don't understand why everybody looks like they've been working out.
I'll explain it to you later. I'll explain it to you. Hate to interrupt. I do need to know if you're part of the death cult, though. I do need that little bit of information from you.
Oh, so the funny thing is,
Mm-hmm.
it
A
wasn't
sentence.
supposed to be a death cult. We just came here for a good time.
Okay. Can I do a little insight check to see
Insight check.
That's
Where is my-
embarrassing.
Go
Don't you
for a
hate it
party
when
and
16?
orgies
stay
turn
for
into
a
death
cult.
cults?
Yeah.
How's this?
16.
Yeah.
So she's starting to avert her eyes. She's embarrassed right now. There's no blood on her. She wasn't taking part in whatever ceremony was going on. You sense that, like, you get this feeling that maybe the allure of this cult initially was not murder.
Oh.
Oh dear. Well, I'm gonna close this door and
Um,
let you get everything situated.
yeah,
And then
don't
I'm gonna need you to go. Like get out and
Okay, you
leave.
just gonna. Do you have any, like,
No.
just wake him up, or like smelling salts, or, like a kitchen or
I
something?
have an axe.
Damn girl.
I can take care of it. I can wake him up.
Here,
get out of
here,
your
I
hair.
got it. I'm
Oh,
gonna
did-
walk up. I'm gonna walk up to him and give him just the swiftest slap I can with my 3
You know,
fingers.
I don't mean to get personal or anything. How many of you are there?
Enough
On
for a
that
party, if that's what you mean.
God bless. Go off, Queen.
I mean,
On-
like,
On that note, Solus is gonna turn around and he's gonna go and knock on the other door across. Just knock, like loud. Does anyone answer?
No.
okay.
I do want to
Seems
know.
empty.
Okay.
Are there more of you in the rooms around?
I can't really speak. I don't think so on my side of the hallway, but I didn't really see anybody go into the other side. I was really paying attention. So,
Okay.
I mean, maybe
Well,
Cool.
it's kind of a it's kind of a pastime, He's just
Mm-hmm.
come down.
Right.
Don't tell my mom.
How old are you?
Don't.
I'm 19. I'm old enough to
Okay.
make my own decisions.
Okay, all right.
That's what I've been saying.
Iskander, you're not helping.
Thank you. Thank you.
okay. So
Sorry.
let's go wake everybody else up, right?
I guess.
Let's go see who we can find down here because I feel like there's going to be a lot more.
Does it look like the end of the hallway turns like to like meet the next hallway? I want to go see it.
Does.
Wait, is this?
Sick.
So, did the key
God.
open this door that's across the hall?
It was unlocked. It seems like they
Yeah,
would.
I didn't
keep
open
the
it yet.
door unlocked
Oh.
here.
Fine.
Vivian's gonna step past these other people in this room who were fornicating and
Mhm.
check there. Is there another set of doors in here?
Yeah. So you see,
Can I peek inside?
you can see this door.
Mhm.
It's just a settee. There's
Right.
nothing really else in here. But if you want to go
What is it?
ahead and make a perception check for me.
Okay.
Oh.
What's a settee?
Like a love seat.
Oh, okay. 12.
Don't you listen to the Arctic Monkeys?
Oh, Very topical.
Yes.
Arctic monkeys.
Yes,
reference.
yeah, right?
I do.
Yeah, if there's just a settee, you don't really notice anything else other than some clothes hastily strewn about the room.
What about this other door?
Can't see that other door.
Oh, okay.
Ah,
Oh,
This door
Oh,
that I clearly don't see.
interesting.
There is no door there.
There's no door.
there
This
is
is
no
not the-
door.
this is not the door you're looking for.
Dang it.
Darn.
Okay,
Beat me
Boss
to
would
it.
say.
well, I'm gonna come knock on these doors. Knock, knock!
All right.
How unsettling.
Okay. Yeah. If anyone was asleep in there, they sure are now. Okay.
I just,
Yeah.
Push my way into this one without knocking. Oh shit. Oh god, I'm behind the thing. Sorry.
what's happening?
Real quick, I'm gonna do Yuki's room first.
You got it.
Um,
Got it.
So you see, as you open this door, Yuki, it's sort of open, and you see a collection of torture devices that decorate the chamber, dimly lit with a lantern, very slightly casting its rays. And you see two leather padded pillories, which There's a
Wow,
specific- yeah.
it's a medical chamber! I screamed down the hallway to everybody.
Yeah, you see
Ooh.
the medical supplies on the side, like a rack, a spiked iron chair, a table that has whips on it.
They must have been doing illegal operations.
Yeah, pretty illegal.
I pick up a flogger. Look at this!
King. Uh,
If you would like to, you can roll a perception check for
I want to perceive more medical tools. I perceive a net
Mackenzie, can
20
I see this
worth.
door in this hallway that crosses? Because if so, I want to go there.
Yeah, you can see that door. Just let me hit this real quick. Yeah, so you see a door right here,
Oh.
and also a little guy right there.
Hey, they have smaller chambers. Yell.
Inside. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. I'm just letting them know everything I see out loud.
Inside this closet chamber seems to be some spare clothes. They're all well made, very like artisan level.
Oh.
Risque outfits, as well as an unlocked wooden chest on the south side, which contains an assortment of beautiful but very gothic looking carnival masks.
Oh,
So you get 5 carnival masks
Oh.
and two pretty finely woven leather whips.
I would like a whip, please. So 5 carnival mats and two fine whips.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. I come out wearing both a mask and brandishing a whip.
Beautiful, immaculate. I love it.
That's and this other room, nothing in there. Or is that the one
that
with
is
the
a
chest?
hallway. That is a hallway, and as you make your way through the hallway, you're able to push on the back of the door at the end, and you are in here. Through
I
a slightly ajar door, you can see Goosh peeking his head through.
Hey.
I Van Dam the secret door open, brandishing a
Oh.
mask and a whip.
Where did you find those?
In the medical facility.
Oh, it's pretty advanced. Wow.
What did
Who's
you
in
find?
here? I haven't found shit. What's in here?
You can go ahead and roll perception as well if you would like.
Give me that perception. Yoink. 14.
14. Okay, so you see that the 4 beds within this chamber, or I guess it's 2 in this one, they're the most plush, silken looking beds, obviously designed for extreme comfort. It's out of place next to the cold stone walls and the dull perpetual hum of this like cistern from the city above. There's just a weird sort of background liveliness that seems disjointed as like the din of the city kind of very, very faintly echoes down here. You see in the corner, a red crystal statue stands in the center of the room, depicting a sultry maiden in a suggestive pose.
Does this look like it's worth anything?
The golem?
The figurine.
It's like a statue.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's a
like
statue.
it's like a golem-looking statue.
Oh,
It doesn't look like it's worth anything, and it doesn't look like it's operational, but it is beautiful.
Interesting. Well, I found a statue, but that's about it.
Yeah, I'm getting the feeling that somebody likes bodies.
Yes, it definitely seems like that for sure. They're really getting into it down here.
And you know, the clothes I found would
Really
barely
clothes.
cover one.
That's wow. Yeah, they probably don't need it if they're trying to, kill people, huh?
I know. It's got to get cold down here.
Like less coverage is better though if you're trying to go for the vital organs of the people.
Oh, I guess that's
Ah.
true. Maybe it's their outfits while they go into surgery.
That could be it. Maybe that's what they put on them before they strap them to their post and
You know,
go
Goosh,
ham.
You've got a
Vivian in
good
the
head
middle.
on your
Ooh,
shoulders.
In the middle of this
you.
conversation, Vivian's gonna poke her head into the room and say, "It's for sex.
For what?
For sex. We can move on. All right."
Is there anything at this door in this hallway that is
Disgusting.
Scandir and I are standing at?
Yes. Give me a brief moment. All right.
Take your time, Queen.
Mm-hmm.
I go back around this way. Just to
Okay,
be a little
yeah.
Mary contrary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you see that there are a lot of crates, chests, what have you, storage containers in this room. You can tell that it is a storeroom. Among the things stored in here, you can see short swords, long swords, a couple shields, all very cheaply made, but mass produced.
Oh.
What is it that's cheaply made but mass produced?
Weapons.
That's concerning.
Weapons.
Yeah, it's a haphazard array of weapons on a rack on this wall. You see a morning star, a spear, a couple sickles, like a flail.
Oh. Interesting.
And here,
Oh.
you have, if you would like to explore further,
I would love to.
you see what looked like it was a pantry at one point, but has since been raided. There's a few rations left here for maybe 20 people for a day. There's a little bit of water left over. A 30-gallon barrel of cheap red wine is still here, and some sacks of rice and everything. It's just food storage and then weapon storage.
In this last little room, it's also
It's also a pantry.
Okay.
That's where they would keep the kegs of everything, but most things seem to be empty.
cool. So that's all we see in here is just storage. Make a
Yeah, pretty
note.
much.
Cool. I'm gonna skedaddle on out then, and I think I'm
Following.
gonna go join Goosh.
Very well. Goosh.
Hello.
The door at the other door.
Yes, I have a door I'm going into.
It's locked.
Anybody
Key!
have a key?
Solus is gonna open the door.
Yeah. So your very beautifully crafted key fits in this lock perfectly. Opens the door, and you can smell faint floral perfumes. They drift around in the air, and you see that the entirety of this room is lined with just various heights of candles and red silken tapestries. Crimson upholstered divan, like a fainting couch. This sits on the eastern wall, and a red patterned rug lies in the center of the chamber, and a red glass statue adorns the table near the divan. The statue depicts a seductive feminine form crowned with the weirdly chilling visage of a smirking skull.
Oh, sexy.
Uh,
Cool. really like ladies. Really into it.
Does this room look fancier than the other rooms?
Much fancier. Anybody entering the room? Let me unfog it first of all. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, hell yeah. Can I see what I'm saving myself from?
If you make your Goosh, you
I do have danger sense. I have danger sense.
get off this rug.
Oh, well, I have advantage on dexterity saves against effects that I can see, such as traps and spells. So I think I technically have advantage.
Yeah, go ahead and roll again. Roll with
Okay.
advantage.
Hey!
Much better.
So
Delicious.
you just see the little mushroom man dive right out of the way and do a little like tuck and roll as this rug just sort of and attempts to like smother him, but it narrowly misses his little foot.
Oh,
Um,
I've seen
and then
this kind
it
before.
takes off and starts flittering about the ceiling before it expels its magic and falls down to the floor.
That was horrifying.
I've seen them before.
Oh.
Yeah, you
Okay.
have to be careful around carpets.
Wait, Goosh, are you saying that you've seen carpets before?
No, I'm saying that I have seen. Is it my phone that's going off? Is someone's phone going?
Yeah,
I
it was. I don't know whose it was.
I
Sorry.
thought it was mine for a second. but-
I didn't know who it was. Anyway, no, I have seen carpets before, but the magic carpets are the one that you have to be careful for. So yes, you must be careful for all carpets because all carpets have the potential to be deadly.
Right. Does the carpet seem like it's reset its trap, or is it like a one and done kind of?
It seems limp and foregone of magic.
Okay.
Okay.
It is just a carpet now.
Okay.
I hit it with the great axe just in case.
The carpet slices in half.
Aha.
Huh. Well,
See, nothing to worry about anymore. I've taken care of it.
None of the
What
other
else is
rooms
in
were
here?
trapped. This one
That's
must be
true.
special.
Solus is gonna walk in the room.
You're right. What is in here?
Well, you see the beautiful plush bed, a sort of desk dresser type thing on the northeast wall there up by you, Goosh, and a nightstand to the north side of the bed.
Oh, okay, interesting. Are there any like rats or rat tracks or anything like that over here?
Go ahead and roll a nature check.
Okay, let me take a look. Let me see. What do we got in here? Nature. Oh, I'm actually
Mouse.
rolling kind of fire, y'all.
Yeah, right?
No.
You are rolling fire, but you don't see any kind of animal tracks at all. It seems like this room was the most well preserved of all that you've seen so far.
Oh,
It's
perfect
definitely
clean.
the most lavish.
Without stepping in the room, I yell from the doorway, special people might keep their stuff in the nightstand.
I was going to maybe look around, or actually, my first go was going to be under the sheets and then under the pillows.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Nightstand makes sense too. Ha! I pulled the nightstand drawer out.
So as you attack this nightstand, basically, you manage to not only pull the drawer out, but completely out of its holding. And from underneath where the drawer kind of sits, you see a leaflet of paper fall to the ground.
Oh, look at that. Hey. And I pick it up and I'm going to pass it to Solas so he can pass it to Yuki.
What is it?
I do that.
Well,
I don't know. I
Yuki,
haven't read it yet.
This is what you see.
It's a letter. I tell them.
Now read it in your character voice.
Oh my god! Okay. It's dated. How in that date? How far in the past or future? Like, what's in comparison to where we're at?
So this is about a couple weeks, 2 to
Okay.
3 weeks old.
Okay, it's a few weeks old. It says, "In the name of Baron Urslav, crawling lord of Valoria, Keeper,
Valenoria.
thank you, Keeper of the Red Sisters, and by the unholy hand of Kelushan, Lord of Shroud Eaters. Okay, let it be known to all agents of the Blood Kingdom, change is coming to Zobeck. By the hand of our fair sisters and the brothers of Nicophorus, the Pale? First of his name, our allies seek to divert Zobeck's attention from the Iron Crags towards the Marati. To this end, the Honorable Felix of Balsheth has been appointed Red Sister of the First Order and ordained to serve the Red Mother's mercy from our bastion within Zobeck itself. I think I know where we are, everybody. All agents of the Blood Kingdom are hereby summoned to identify any personages of significant import for conversion within the Sister Balsheth's enclave. These covenants will form the bedrock of new trade and ensure a pact of non-aggression with the Crossroads City. By the glory of Morag and the unhallowed legions of Dorish, in Marina's name we conquer.
Amen.
Amen!
So true, bestie. So true.
Did anybody get any of that? Because that just went over my head.
Well,
I don't know. Did any of you get any of that?
yeah, well, okay, maybe. I think I got some of it. Okay, so there's some new cults rising, right? And they're doing it here in Zobeck. It looks like they are... who's Phylexia? Do we know her?
She is the one that we just
That's
killed.
who we just killed.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, she has been well, we just killed the Red Sister of the First Order. That might be bad for us. But they're looking people of significant import to convert into some of their followers. It looks like they're
That's
maybe trying
probably
to
why
take over
Malonka-
Zobeck. Yeah.
Malonka was probably here to be converted. That's probably why.
Is Nicophorus the Pale? Pale like a bucket? Or
Go ahead, and anybody who would like to investigate the identity of Nicophorus the Pale, make a history check. Vivian, you may do so with advantage.
Okay. And I don't know him at all.
Did you get my message, DM?
Oh. Secret messages.
a
Get
message?
their DM.
A
Yeah,
letter. A letter.
Do you want
We
to do
just
that
got
now?
a letter.
Wonder who it's for.
Sorry. Gush and I are clueless.
I got an 11, so
I got a 19.
Hey, that's pretty great.
I got a
Valenoria
lot.
Oh, no.
sounds familiar.
Nice.
Okay, so Iskander and Vivian, you would know that Nicophorus the Pale is the emperor of the people, which is what the members of the Ghoul Imperium call themselves. He is the emperor of ghouls.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
It would
Fun.
appear that there is a hesitant alliance between the vampiric kingdom of Morgau and Daresh and the underworld kingdom of the Ghoul Imperium forming.
that
So no good.
doesn't sound good.
Iskander and Vivian, you would also know that King Lucan has been the ruler of Morgau for about 200 years, probably getting closer to 300 at this point. And he was the one directly responsible for the Battle of Krakova very recently, within the past decade.
Didn't we recently just hear something about Shroud Eaters? Or am I hallucinating that?
We
That was in the letter we picked up off
in
of.
the last note.
Yeah.
Let's see. I wrote down some of the stuff from that.
So,
Boris Cruel, Belsheth is her last name, and then Shroudson is who that note was from. The first one that we got today.
okay. So, Vivian's saying that all of the leaders of the Empire of the Ghouls,
Oh,
plus all the other underworld cities, are rising together against the surface?
So it seems from a letter that they're trying to solidify political power within the city in order to form a non-aggressive sort of trade confederacy with Zobeck. Not necessarily a violent altercation.
Okay,
They
so
just
not
want
war,
to secure a place.
but they're taking over leaders of Zobeck and using them.
I mean, to the ghouls, this probably seems very peaceable.
But
Yeah,
okay,
whatever
well,
the
that's a
reason
good
is,
point.
they were also taking that little girl and they were going to, and add her maybe to the blood
Okay,
fountain.
who's Marina?
That's
That's the goddess, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Marina, is the red goddess of
Right.
blood and lust, also of bloodlust. All of you would know that because she is one of the most widely worshipped by extreme zealous cultists, especially in the provinces of Morgau and Daresh, and now the newly added province of Krakowa.
Oh,
That is a pretty big fish.
hey, I feel like we should warn somebody, right?
I feel like maybe we should take this to what's that guy's name? The kobold, the blue one with the silly hat.
Oh, right.
Coral?
Guy. What
You want to bring
what
it back
is-
to Coral?
Coral? Yes. He seems well
Coral.
connected.
And the
Maybe
And sketchy.
Kobold King.
the Kobold King, maybe?
Come on, King. That now, okay.
I trust him because
Um,
he sits on a pile of garbage.
Should we check the other rooms and then back to the
Yes, I would love to take a look and see what else we can find. If there's anything at
back
all.
to the surface?
Oh wait,
Also-
I ripped the sheets off the bed and pull the pillows up. Is there anything in there?
It doesn't look like it, but if anybody else wants to roll, anybody investigating the room would like to roll either perception or investigation. you may
Man,
do
they
so.
really need to clean these sheets.
I'm gonna roll investigation right
Yeah, there's some weird looking stains.
A 9.
A 21.
Nice.
Okay, Yuki. All right, yeah. So Iskander, you can tell that the red glass sculpture that is obvious in the room is the likeness of most depictions of the blood goddess Marina. You can tell it's pretty valuable, not even necessarily to a collector, but just as a kind of gothy decorative piece, to a staple to any home, really.
The homes.
It's a must-have.
Yeah,
of
The home
any
section of Hot
centerpiece. Yeah.
It'd
so
be
Becky
on a
and
BuzzFeed list. Home.
Oh, absolutely. Wow, you just took me back to high school. Listicle. Listicle.
I'm very topical today, you know.
All right.
Okay, so Yuki, you also notice a closet up
Okay.
to the north, and then a closet to the south. In the north closet, you see like a chest of drawers, kind of. And inside, when you open it, is there are two more gothic-looking carnival masks. One resembles a red skull with a very like ajar open mouth, like beyond the scope of normal jaw
yeah.
capabilities. Yeah, and then the other one appears to be like a blood-ridden goddess. Typical iconoclastic features of the red goddess Marina. She's
Gotcha.
a very prevalent
Interesting.
person in this cult.
Okay, well, I add them to our mask collection.
You also find a bunch of tawdry erotic novels. Whether or not you want those is up to you.
Oh, look, literature.
Ugh, disgusting.
Amongst the smut, you find a blood-stained, leather-bound book, and on the front it reads "Prophets of the Red Goddess." It stands out from the rest. It covers a wide range of information on Marina herself.
Oh, yeah. I hold that book up so somebody can see it.
Oh.
That, yeah.
Maybe if we did some light reading on the goddess, we'd better understand her cult.
So there's a brief introduction to Marina in this book. Most of the information you already know from just knowing about the goddess herself. But you see that there are particular passages in this book um, pertaining to the construction of the stained red glass statues that you see in here. They're actually meant to be golems that come to life and fight people, but the ceremony never took place. They didn't have time, whatever it was. You can tell that pretty much all the machinations had been finished, minus the actual bring the golem to life. And there's certain
Interesting.
passphrases and secret like codes you can whisper to them in order to get them to activate or deactivate. But the book itself, you could tell, is a valuable collectible.
Okay.
To your
Did it have what was its
BDSM
title
guide.
again? Yeah, okay, I see.
Prophets of the Red Goddess.
Okay. Great. I add that to the things we have. Cool. Anything else in that room or the bedroom to the south before we call it quit? Go to the other side.
That is a no. We're gonna take a second here and pan over to Vivian. Vivian, what are you up to?
Vivian is snuck off to follow the official back to her office.
All right. So you eventually catch up to her, knowing that her seeing you on the streets isn't going to be suspicious at all. And she leads you. Y'all are chatting away about this, that, and the other. She's talking about her favorite cat, and she sort of like leads you to her office, unlocks it with a key, goes inside, lights a candle so that you can see, picks it up, and brings you upstairs to her office.
Right. Is there any guards, any assistant, anybody else present?
It's pretty late. Most people have gone home for the day, so you don't really see anybody around.
Right. So while they're chatting away, and she's not looking, she's going to cast Allure on herself, and then also Liar's Gift on herself.
Okay. Yeah.
And bardically inspire herself.
Okay.
On the way to the office. And as soon as they enter the office, is there like a seat and a desk, or?
Yeah, so you see like a big leather, very official looking business chair behind this very nice looking desk, and then a couple of like velvety looking chairs facing the one seat. There's a window behind the big seat. There's a couple of book cases full of old files, cool books, stuff like that.
Okay. As soon as they sit down, what did you say your name was? I'm sorry. I am just terrible with this.
Silly me, it's been such a long day. Malonka, Malonka Vendemic.
Malonka? Can the DM spell that?
Yes, I'm gonna put it in chat here.
Oh, okay, great. I just wanted to make sure that you and I were sort of on the same page about some things, and I wanted to ask you if you would not mind just handing over every single bit of correspondence that you might have had with the Marina cult, you know, so that you don't get in trouble. That would be very, not good for you, and you've done nothing wrong, I just want to look out for you.
Thank you for saying that. I've actually this entire time really been feeling quite guilty. You have no idea how validating that is to hear. Unfortunately, I didn't have any paper correspondence with them. It was more like I met a rather enchanting fellow. You saw him, the grey-skinned, rather sightly looking man, and he invited me out for a glass of wine, and who am I to say no to that? I'm not getting any younger. Of course I was going to say yes. We joined him, and the next thing I knew, we were partying away in the headquarters.
Right. We don't have to talk about your ex or anything, but I was just if you could please, me and my friends are going to, of course, get to the bottom of all of this, and I was just wondering if you wanted to be especially helpful.
Go ahead and roll persuasion with your modifiers.
Okay. So persuasion 24, and then I have 2d6. Oh, I believe it's at advantage, so let me roll that real quick. It's still a 24, and then plus, that was a 1d6, 3, 24, 27, 29.
Oh, my dear friend, anything that you could possibly need, just name it. I promise. The city will be so grateful. I'm afraid we don't have much of a documented case here yet. But I can promise that every ounce of paperwork will go through you, my dear friend, and the Lord, of course. I wouldn't want to leave him out of it.
Right.
And what can I get you?
And I just want to, if you could please just put it on the, the hush. You know how Felixia, might have bitten your neck and, taken a little blood from you. You remember that, right?
Yes, I think I remember that.
And Vivian's gonna get up and sit on her desk before leaning over her and is gonna bite her.
Yeah. Go ahead and do that.
I have to roll the hit.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll. We'll call it an unarmed strike.
Okay, because I do have a bite attack.
Oh, you do? Roll that bite
I
attack.
100% too. Yeah. Did you say an advantage?
Not for your bite.
Okay. Well.
But yeah, that hits. So you can go ahead and roll your how much blood do you draw?
3.
3 blood, please.
Yes. After you finish and you sort of pat the corners of your mouth. Yes, what a horrific woman. I think I do recall that she helped herself. That was rude of her.
And did she?
A glass of wine.
I would love a glass of wine. And did she ever mention anyone that she was ever discussing things with? That Felixia, that maybe, had visited Zobeck or...
She, yes, actually, she was speaking to someone when she brought the girl in. It seemed like someone of esteem, someone of high importance.
From the city or from somewhere else?
I didn't recognize her, but
what did they look like?
Well, I mean, she did remind me a bit of you, just a little. She had long brown hair. She was about a little over 6 feet tall, and she wore these beautiful, elegant boots. Oh God, I would have died for a pair.
Right. And she always just kind of had a resting bitch face, right?
The biggest resting bitch face. I thought she was going to kill me herself.
Right. Did she say anything? Did she say anything to you?
Oh, not to me. They spoke in a corner somewhere else. I thought she was going to join the party, but she left rather hastily.
When?
Last night, I believe, actually. She said something about looking out and then left. That was all I really heard. Why? If someone's bothering you, I can have her hauled straight to the dungeons. I can do it.
No, well, I really appreciate that, but that won't be necessary. And I think it's about time for me to leave. So she casts sleep on her and then is just gonna walk out.
She knocks right into this chair. It topples backwards and you can just hear snoring.
Okay. Yeah, Vivian's gonna head back to she'll check to see if the party's still down there, but yeah, that's it. That's what she's gonna do.
Knowing us, we definitely are.
Yeah,
we are meandering our way through leisurely little stroll through the cults.
Where's Vivian?
Yeah, Vivian shows up. Oh, hello. I was just taking a break and it looks like you have everything cleaned up, right?
I guess.
We found a letter.
Before
A letter? Oh, can I read it?
Mm-hmm. And a book.
I would love to read these things, and Vivian will read them by herself if just to herself. But
yeah, I want to check out these doors on the other side of the hallway
Okay.
just to be thorough
let's
and
go.
sure. So I'm headed down the one on the left. I'm gonna
Andrew
open
will
the
follow.
door on the left. I love my little shadow. Little
Okay,
guy.
so this room is not locked. It too is just like covered in plush pillows and silk sheets, blankets everywhere, tapestries just adorning the walls. Yeah, if you want to investigate or roll investigation or perception, I can tell you.
Roll my little investigation. Has a 19.
Look at that.
Anything of note?
Yeah, so you see another unlocked wooden chest on the side with more carnival masks, but there's not much else in this room.
Is this a door?
It
here?
is. This one was my bad. That's where you find the
Okay.
chest is in this closet.
Cool. Well, I'm just gonna skedaddle on over to this other room across the way and just check that one too.
Okay. So very much the same to as what Yuki had found earlier. You see a room with a couple whips, some chains, maybe
Cool.
a pillory or two.
Spicy.
Yeah, so you see a lot of neat, spicy stuff in here.
To like restrain himself from covering Iskandier's eyes. He's like, grown man, he's fine.
However, it's not quite empty in here, as on this particular pillory there is a man hoisted up. And,
On God?
on God.
God?
On God. You can see him like giggling as this very small, like demure halfling woman is just tickling his rib cage with a feather. He seems to be wearing a long, like bird nose mask, and she's got on this carnival mask that kind of looks like a
Jesus.
mouse.
Solus is just gonna go in the doorway.
Oh my God. Why aren't you wearing the mask?
Because the party's over. We're done. There was a murder. Get out.
Okay, and she's she's hurriedly trying to unshackle this guy from like 4 different points, and she's like, "Oh my God, oh 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 my God, oh, get up, get out!" And they book it out the temple entrance.
God. Huh.
Yeah.
Incredible. Just incredible.
And what about the other 2 rooms on the other side? Guess Yuki will brave those.
Yes. So
Down here.
oh
Yeah, there we go.
yeah, once more, you see another simple bed chamber, same deal, unlocked chest, carnival mask, plushness everywhere.
Cool.
Not
No
a whole
people.
lot. No people in here. No.
Great. And the one across the hall?
One across the hall. So many rooms. It too is unlocked. Do you see another crimson colored glass golem in here? And you can kind of eye it suspiciously. This one, however, depicts 2 lovers. One is a seductive courtesan, and the other a handsome courtier, sort of in a bit of a dance.
Ow.
Nice.
I eyeball it.
Go ahead and want to roll perception for me really quick.
Okay. 12.
Okay. Yeah. So you notice that one of the candles near the golem
Okay.
is a little bit different than the other ones in its color and its texture. Go ahead and make an Arcana check for me.
Oh, I only rolled a 10. No, I am botching my actual skill set. Anything that's actually my skill set has been a bad roll. Yeah, a 10.
You so you can't quite put your finger on it now, but you do get something You do notice that this candle is different. Maybe a little bit of a closer look at a later point will help you out. Maybe if someone else takes a look at it, you don't quite recognize what
Can I just
magic is
take it?
here. Yeah, you can just take it.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna this one, and I eyeball the dancing statue, but I take the candle.
You also notice, let me unfog these. There's a little extra chamber here, and inside is more spicy stuff, more little spice. One of the spicy things is an incredibly finely crafted leather whip with a bloodstone handle underneath one of the pillows.
Ow! I pick it up. I'm holding this up. I'm taking both of them. And I decided to take both of them. And I'll go back
Excellent.
and join the group or meet up with Vivian. Vivian seems, I offer, I found whips!
Oh, thank you. And then she's going to take them and then put it in her satchel. Whenever you all are done raiding all of the sex toys out of this temple, I actually have something to talk to everyone about.
Oh, I want to
Okay.
just real quick check these 2 rooms up here.
Yeah, we gotta scour this place.
Yeah, so this chamber
Can't help
is
it. I grew up playing Zelda. I gotta check everything.
Every room.
So this door is actually locked, but you find that your key does, in fact, unlock it. Both of these chambers. So you can tell that people were kind of housed up in this one here on the left. It definitely looks like a place where the cultists, the guards specifically, would have taken their breaks. There's a couple where you can smell some tobacco in here. There's a couple of like empty plates on a table to the northwest corner with some food that they definitely ate this morning. So this seems to be like a kind of take a breather room. But the one next to it.
Oh.
So as you open the door, you get this stale stench of blood and sweat. There are several sets of chains and shackles that are affixed to the northern and southern walls, or the northern and western walls. It's currently empty, but it does bear signs of a struggle. There are dried droplets of blood haphazardly strewn about the floor.
Mm.
This is more than likely where they kept people like Rosalind.
Okay. I think we've opened all the doors. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and rejoin the group then down here with.
Is there anything else that you guys
And
would like to do?
Vivian. Where's Goosh?
I am
Doing bush stuff.
around. I am
Question
simply
for
hanging out.
DM.
Yes.
I don't think well, let me ask you. Does my character know everything you gave me in my handout?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh,
Interesting. What does that
delicious.
mean?
Can't wait to find out.
What does that mean?
I guess
Okay.
we're all met.
We're all
good.
together? Okay.
I'm good. I'm set.
Vil, and she will hand the letter back to Uki, and then she like flipped through the book, and is gonna hand that back as well. I guess we could if we want to do that now.
Yes. So now is the actual perfect time, Miss Secretive Vivienne, for our break. Thank you guys so much. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, bye.
Back.
Be right back, friends. Don't go anywhere. Be back now.
5.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for coming back. Hope your bio break was all it was cracked up to be. We are rejoining our party here in this cavern. Just finished exploring, and Vivian has taken a little adventure of her own. What would you guys like to do?
Well, everyone, and I'm sorry to bring this up sort of belatedly, but I'm very sorry to say, and I hope this doesn't change how you feel about me, but I am a vampire. And I wanted you...
What?
No, really.
So, all right, how do I explain this?
Yuki, she was drinking blood. Like, she literally did it in front of you, didn't she?
That part was the joke, yes. But
I don't know if Yuki was joking.
I'm not shocked. You're shocked.
Hey, Yuki,
I
it's okay,
accept you
know.
exactly as you are, Vivian.
well, thank you. Actually, if this whole party thing doesn't work out, then things go south a little bit. Actually, because of the new political situation between the Blood Kingdom and the Ghoul Imperium. Actually, you and I could be pretty good friends, for a while. But anyway, as I was saying, so yes, the Princess Christina is my mother. Sort of like she's my vampire mom. So, unfortunately, I happen to know a lot about what's going on. Since my mother is the Protector Duchess of Krakelvar, Grand Marshal of the Ghost Knights. And my, grandpappy is, the king. So...
You knew they were going to sacrifice the child?
Well, kind of. A little bit. So in Zobeck, they've been the sisters, Marina, how Marina and the God of War, they're all together and they are having a good time, as gods do. And there is that sort of alliance going on right now in the Blood Kingdom. And so, anyway, the sisters of Marina were kind of sent here to Zobeck to establish some brothels to bring people in for sacrificing after sex. So it's part of the aftercare programs that they had. Right, so that's what we're seeing here. And this is meant to, I suppose, throw Zobeck into enough disarray to not be able to respond if there was any sort of, vast network or let's just call it an advance of military might against other people.
Is that why you are here?
No, I hate my mom. She's a bitch. But no, I just happen to be here and know that all of these things are happening. And apparently she put a bounty on me, which is really unfair. And I'm still really upset about it, actually. But no, I'm not working for my mom. I haven't liked her for 40 years. But anyway, if we could just not talk about my mom right now, I'm dealing with a lot. So,
I think your mom is unfortunately at the crux of a lot of these issues.
I have two questions.
Right. Yes,
Okay.
Luki.
So you're telling me that the Blood Kingdom, the Ghoul Imperium, tricked our politicians into bumping uglies?
That's right.
To weaken the city for an attack?
I don't know if necessarily an attack, but as we have seen through, this correspondence that you're talking about, right? There's enough focus internally in the city right now, dealing with all of these problems caused with the civil unrest. And you remember that time that riot tried to kill us? Things like that.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
Right. And...
Okay. Okay. Second question. You really want to be my friend?
Oh, of course, Uki. We're very good friends. It's actually almost serendipitous that all of you are various stages of either bloodless or undead, because actually my biggest problem is sometimes I eat my friends, and then I'm friendless, and it's very actually quite lonely for me and long periods of time. But all of you I can't eat, so it's like it's just perfect, as a matter of fact.
I've never been more glad to be dead than I am right now.
I've never had friends, except for Narla.
Oh,
I'm
Well-
not. I'm not surprised.
Solus, I would actually like you to roll a history check.
Oh, I'm so good at
Are
those.
too many countries and people doing different things. I don't get it. You say
Come on, Shard.
your
Come on,
mom is a
Shard.
bitch.
Oh.
Fine, I get it.
Okay, Solus. So, being from where you are from, you know that the Imperatrix, the beloved, recently comatose, actually took in refugees from a war that Princess Christina had started in Krakowa. You know, although you have not met them at court quite yet, because their kingdom is still in shambles and they're still recovering. You know that the court in exile, the former royalty of Krakovar and victims of Princess Christina, the Grand Marshal, essentially the general of the vampiric armies, drove them into your country, where they are seeking refuge.
Fun.
Can we go? Okay, can we go back to our dreams? Let's go.
So
Let's come full
actually-
circle.
Actually, full
There's
circle
so
about
much
that. I
going
was
on here.
having some thinking about that, and
Yeah.
you know, actually, in magical things like that, and I guess symbols and iconography, I was thinking that the shield maidens that I saw was probably the blood priestess Sonia,
Okay.
which would make things very. And I'm not quite sure who the mermaid might be, but you know that the shield maiden, you know, did the whoosh, into.
Blood priestess?
We didn't see this. We had different.
Right.
But
But
sure,
what if you
right.
saw a
Vivian.
church? Oh,
Vivian, you don't know what everybody saw quite yet. You
okay.
only know what you yourself saw. So if you
Okay.
would like to share that, you can. But Vivian, go ahead and make a raw intelligence check for me.
Raw intelligence. Raw
My goal here-
Yeah,
intelligence.
let's see you
11.
allure your way out of this.
Above
Yeah, so you can't you don't quite know what the mermaid meant.
Mm.
okay.
Well,
So in my dream, Narla turned into this gnarly beast, picked me up, and attempted to drop me inside of a giant cauldron of stuff.
Oh,
That's
she
what-
would
that's what
never do
happened to-
that.
It was very scary, but that's what happened to all of you, right?
No.
No. I've
Narla,
had dreams of being chopped up and thrown into a cauldron, but it was not that this time.
okay, well, what happened to you?
I was in a valley of some kind, and there were mountains all around with snowy peaks, and I don't usually spend a lot of time out there. I prefer the tunnels. But anyway, there was a cathedral, and there were a lot of noises coming from it, and it sounded like some kind of celebration, maybe one of your mammalian weddings or whatever. And then but then the sound started sounding like a murder, or like it's kind of like gurgling, like everybody trying to brush their teeth or something. And then there are a bunch of like ghouls and dompiers and vampires and other creatures came out. And then there was a groom and a bride next to me, and they were very bloody, and I cannot remember what sort of creatures they were.
Vivian, you're fancy.
yes, I am, but don't tell anyone. I
Okay.
don't really like to flounce it around like some lords around here.
Okay, well, it'll be our secret, but you're fancy, right? And fancy fancy folks, they secure treaties with marriage.
That's right, yes.
We have 2 kingdoms vying for an extraordinary large amount of power. The Blood Kingdom and the Empire of the Ghouls. If they were to marry
Oh.
into a single kingdom,
That's a very interesting thought.
What were
Mhm.
what was the like lineage of the 2 people I saw, the bride and the groom?
Can't
remember.
The
Is it important?
I mean, if it is to you.
Sure, I'd like to know because he would remember that. I just have ADHD brain.
The symbolism of whatever you saw is somewhat lost on you, but you do remember the groom having the grayish fade of undead skin that you would normally see of a ghoul,
Mhm.
and you do remember the bride with blood dripping from her mouth.
damn fair.
Oh yeah, I'll relay that information.
I mean, Vivian, you said it yourself. We could be friends soon.
Right. I just meant that in a general sense, but if we end up into a position where I have to say, okay, Mom, you're right, I'm going to come back and help the family, then maybe, I'll just...
Are you going to do that?
Probably not, unless I'm lying. Obviously, I don't like my mom.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying this doesn't bode well.
No, it does not.
Mackenzie, did Solus recognize the area that he was fighting in his vision? Did it look like anywhere he's been?
You're an educated fellow there, Solus. Will you roll a history check for me?
I have nothing to add to my history. God.
It's a lot of history going on.
It's a
there.
14. It's a 14.
You vaguely
Respectable.
recall descriptions of the Battle of Krakova, mirroring a little bit of what you had seen.
Oh, fun.
You remember stories, hearing from various refugees that came through your country, just passing by what it was like when they were invaded.
He just gonna
Right.
sigh. I saw what I believe to be a battle, the battle at Krakova, and he's gonna describe who that is.
Say that one more time. You broke up a little bit.
Oh. Can I have some right zoom? But he's gonna I believe
Oh no.
I might have had a vision of the battle of my own computer. It's fine. He believes he had a vision of the Battle of Krakow is what he basically relays, and is going to ask Vivian if maybe she recognizes the woman from his vision.
Okay.
So as Solus relays this image to you, Vivian, the image of a regal queen with a crown, pearls adorning, you can go ahead and make just another raw intelligence check for me.
3.
She sounds cool.
Jesus.
DM question real quick. For sure, the woman described as having met with Felixia, that was Christina?
You are
Pretty
pretty
positive?
friggin' certain
Okay, cool.
that Mommy Dearest stopped by.
Okay.
You said there were mountains. Would those be the Iron Crags? That was mentioned in the letter.
I guess so, maybe. I've traveled pretty far and wide. Would I be able to recognize them as the Iron Crags? I don't spend a whole lot of time upstairs, but
You are pretty well traveled.
I poke my head out of a hole every once in a while.
friend.
So
So you don't actually recognize these specific mountains, but you do remember the site of the Aurora Borealis behind the church. You
Oh,
figure
yeah.
they're much further north than the places
Okay.
that you have traveled.
And that is that where the Iron Crag a name I would recognize from where I've traveled at all?
You would recognize the name Iron Crag, but as far as the geography goes, you'd have to consult a map.
I'll relay all that information.
Okay, so as soon as Iron Greg said, oh, that is the mountains to the west of Margao. It is what separates the duchy from the other places.
So
west
maybe
of it.
not.
Oh,
There
but,
were the lights in the sky, the pretty ones.
but they talk about that in the letter too. Of drawing attention from the Iron Crags to Morcal, or was it the other way around? I just don't remember the letter.
Ooh, no, yeah,
I have
true.
a picture.
It was...
Wait, I have a picture of the letter.
Don't we also have it in like our session stuff that we get? What is
It
that?
should be in your handouts if you need to.
Oh,
search
you're
for
right.
it.
You're right. You're right. Is this one it? No.
Handouts,
Yes.
handouts.
Yes, I found it. Okay, so it says agents of the Blood Kingdom are hereby summoned to identify any persons. These where is it? I swore I read it. Attention. Okay, yeah. Our allies seek to divert Zobeck's attention from the Iron Crags towards the Maharati. That's the Dragon Empire, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's the
Ooh.
Dragon Empire to the east. Yeah, so they're trying to divert attention from the Iron Crags.
Are there any well, what's going on with the dragon people? Whatever you said. I mean, are they doing anything in particular? Is there like a fight going on? Maybe.
And none of you would really know anything about Mahai.
Weird. Ah, there it is.
Maharati.
Maharati, that's it. For anyone who wants the Midgard map, I'm going to drop it in our Zoom chat, and I'm going to drop it in
Ooh,
chat.
thank
We have a
you.
completely free Midgard map.
Oh,
online.
Oh my Lord, have mercy!
And you can
that's
search it.
insane.
Yep, totally free. You can search cities and stuff, so you'll be able to check things like where Zobeck is and all that jazz.
This is like freaking Google
So,
Maps.
Actually, what
Holy
I
cow.
recommend
God.
for us right now, since we're playing, is click the little tile thing on the right side and click political boundaries. And that is
Yes,
going to show you
yes.
what you need to see.
Let me actually
This
say, I think I
is-
could show this to everybody.
Friday, your brain
online.
is so big.
Delicious.
Your brain is so big, Friday. Huge.
I just play.
Huge. Everyone says so.
Like, how did? Oh my God, this is wow.
Can you
Okay, let me
Where's
see if
my
I can show
home?
this. I can. Look at me go. So yeah,
my-
okay.
oh my- it's going.
So yeah, you can see. Yeah, okay. So you're talking about over here in the oh yeah. So the Dragon Empire is to the southeast, over near the Ruby Sea, which is a far cry from the Iron Crags, which is definitely a distraction. So why would they want to distract from the Iron Crags?
What a question.
Because, are you asking that in character?
Yeah. Why take eyeballs away from the Iron Crags?
So, if I know my mother a little bit, I would just imagine with the raids right now and kind of the little poking and things like that, the next thing is probably to invade the Iron Crags, yes. Because if they are distracting Zobeck from being able to respond adequately, and they would like a bit of an agreement for non-involvement, they don't want Zobeck to support the Iron Crags when they are invaded.
You guys know that Zobeck in this world is essentially Switzerland.
Right.
So
Ah.
having
It's
them
it's the
be,
free city.
Where
Maybe
am I blind? I'm trying to
You
figure
can
where
search.
Zobeck
You
is.
can search it. It'll put you right inside the Iron Crag. Zobeck. It sits between the Margrave Forest and the Iron Crags proper. Oh! I said that out loud and I had an idea. Oh my god! As a druid, I know that the Margrave Forest, along with multiple locations throughout Midgard, have connections, secret pathways to the Underdark, to the underworld. Basically, the Margrave Forest is said to be a place of passages that is supposed to have some of these secret and hidden. What if they plan to use the Margrave Forest as a doorway to attack the Iron Cracks?
That makes sense, yes.
Probably, yeah. Oh,
So they go underneath instead of going through?
They come up through the forest and march.
Right, and because if they have spies that are looking inside Morgau to see troop movements, they are never going to see someone pop up in the forest before it is much too late, I suppose.
Oh,
Goosh. You particularly know that you're relatively well versed with the passages that you've experienced of the Underdark, of the underworld.
Oh yeah.
Mostly because you are able to travel unharmed by ghouls and dark ghoul. They don't see you as viable food options. So you know that they have a sort of passive alliance with the mushroom folk in that they don't care about your presence.
Yep.
So you would have a little bit of insight as to how to navigate these things. You think it's plausible?
So let me ask a little question. So there's a lot going on here. I just want to get it all straight in my head. So the Iron Crags, where's the ghoul? Where are the ghoul folks? Where are the vampire
Underground.
folks?
Underground.
All underground.
Yep.
Okay. So we're suggesting that they come up through the Margrave Forest and then attack from the eastern border of Zobeck, the eastern side.
You would know that they have been looking to expand the Underdark and its tunnely passageways.
Oh, interesting. Oh, they have been trying to make the tunnels bigger. They're interested in spreading them out. Maybe that is a part of it. I would. I mean, more tunnels, more good.
Right. Well, I suppose we should take a moment to consider all of this, and then if we really want to stick it to my mom, you can ruin their plan or something. I don't know. I just as soon probably leave, to be honest. Go to the Magdar Kingdom or wherever.
it's too close to Dornick for my taste.
Hmm.
I say we might want to at least inform some folks about their plans at the very least. If
First, I just want to
Not
make sure that the
stop them.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were done because Zoom is disrespectful to you. I am going to. I first think we just go see maybe if the Kobold is taken care of. Rick is going to be fine. Make sure no one else is going to get pinned. Hey, blame you for this stuff that is happening. And as long as that's taken care of, the other stuff, who cares, right? It's just another sort of political move, I guess. What's the big deal if they come here or not?
They're not banned from coming here. It is a free city and it is, neutral.
Yeah, I meant like, what's the deal if they're influencing this area, right? Like nothing. What changes?
Well,
I admire your attitude about life.
I just
He's stupid.
I'm trying to be you.
Just to put it out there, and I'm not for or against vampires, but
It'd be kind of weird if you were.
just to let you know, not a lot of people really like living in the Blood Kingdom. I'm just throwing it out there, It's not a very nice place to be.
Nope.
Not nobility. It's
Oh,
it's a little hard for some people.
Yep.
everybody has a face on like I'm missing something.
Have you ever seen cattle?
Cattle?
Yeah, like moo.
Oh, Yeah, I have seen
Okay.
things getting shepherded around in the tunnels.
Wonderful. Pretend you're the sheep.
Oh. Just the milking part, or?
Oh, there's probably pre-shearing and then slaughter, as the letter so pointed out.
Oh. Ah.
It's the Blood Kingdom. It's a real special place, let me tell you.
Oh, they're not. Oh, yes. Well, they won't eat me.
Uh,
I am just a mushroom.
Is
Nope.
Morgo like ruled by the vampires now?
Yes, it has been for about 200 years.
That could be a problem.
Like, okay. Hmm.
Well,
So is Doresh and now Krakoba.
so, just to point things out, and not to, beat around the bush at all, but, I'm not really a fan of those practices. I think I'm generally very pleasant when I decide to drink from people, but, not every vampire is as nice as me. So sometimes, they're a little, unpleasant about it.
Do you know what we need?
What?
What?
We need a historian.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Somebody that's crazy enough to study them can help us put the pieces together. Also, I thought, Vivian, if they're having a wedding, maybe you could get an invitation.
I'm probably invited, but
Do you have a +4? 5? Narla, sorry.
Don't tell them that, DM.
Sorry.
If you are invited and you have a price on your head and you go there and you get killed, right?
Right, probably. Yeah. My mom is just sometimes very unreasonable, so
Okay.
Has there been any like unrest along this border between Dornig and Morgo recently that Solus would know about? Is there any?
You would know. It's not quite as overt as the attack on Krakova was, but you do know that the Blood Kingdoms do like to maintain fluctuating borders, release a little bit, get a little bit back, in order to keep those around them constantly on edge as to whether or not they're going to launch a full-scale invasion. So there have been small attacks, small raids, but nothing large-scale enough to indicate a higher intent of conflict.
So, this is a meta question. Did Solus say that he was from Dornig?
Yeah. Well, he said it's a little too close to Dornig for my taste.
She's gonna
Make whatever
turn to him
inferences from that.
and Solus, actually, now that you mention it, I was thinking, do you want to talk to perhaps Queen Ursula?
Oh, I have a feeling I'm supposed to know who that is, and I can't remember.
It is this exiled ruler of Krakelvar, who is now in exile in Dornig.
Well, he seems well. I would love to. That'd be a good idea. I'm fairly sure most of Dornick has assumed me dead, so
Right.
that might be a bit of something to
I
overcome.
thought you were dead.
Well, like dead, like gone, like resting in a grave dead.
I see.
Suddenly it's so hot down here. I'm just thinking about, what if we went together to a ball or something and, we were introduced to everyone and it was just very lovely. But anyway, I was just thinking, if you are loyal to Dornig, then perhaps there is something to be made of that. I don't know what kind of actual influence you might have over there in their court, but...
Well, seeing as I am technically, he kind of stumbles. It's not quite a betrothal, less than a betrothal. Well, more than betrothal, less
Killed instantly.
than a marriage to Zoom, can I have my rights? There we go. Everything froze for me. But you see him kind of stumble over his words for a second. It's, it's more than a betrothal, less than a marriage to Prince Sidon of
Oh, you're supposed to get married? That'll be awkward.
Right.
Yeah.
Gross.
They're probably going to be really jealous if you show up with me, and because I'm such a good catch,
Probably
especially.
very confused as well, since you're a
Right.
woman.
Do you
but-
think that they have already turned somebody by bringing them down here? I mean, somebody on like the council. You know what I mean? Like that lady
Well,
was.
Possibly.
I've been sitting on this for a while. I mean, it feels more pressing to take care of matters here in Zobeck. First, this is clearly their base of operations, but who knows how many agents are running through the free city of Zobeck.
That's a good point, Iskander. Always got your feet on the ground. You very, very smart.
I'm just worried that, if Zobeck isn't paying attention, then,
Oh, I just had that thought to myself.
Are you going to
Krakova
share it?
is the city of the mermaid.
I'm sorry.
Now I
What?
understand my dream. It's fine.
Oh,
A good call. You're right.
So
All
true.
of these cities and people, my head is hurting. Can we please maybe go upstairs and get up out of here? I love it down here, but I know we have things to do and I can't keep them all in my brain. I have to write them down. And unless we want me to start writing in blood, which I could do.
Oh,
Anybody have
No.
paper?
honestly, I'm in agreement with Goosh. I've had my fill of being here.
we should find Quarrel and the Kobold King and proceed from there. Make sure that Brick is innocent, well, proven innocent.
Yeah.
I agree.
I
So,
wonder if there's enough time to visit that commander.
We should also update him. Yes, I completely forgot about him. Yes.
Oh, did
He's
he make it
still
through the
alive.
riot?
I hope he's still
you
alive.
don't know. It is. It's about 11 p.m. Closing in on midnight right now.
Hey, we should go and see if he survived, or should we just go back to the restaurant and
Let's
see what we
get
can
out.
find tomorrow?
I
I'd
think
say for now, let's go back to the inn.
we should check on the
Let's
Talk
do
with
kid.
that.
Skirtal and Brick.
Right.
Very
I'm good
true.
for that. Let's go.
All right.
All right. So you leave the lusty cistern behind as you make your way through the back streets of this area of Zobeck, all the way back to the rampant roach. As soon as he sees you guys, Skirtle like rushes towards you and scoops you all up, as many people as he can reach, like within arm's reach, in a giant hug. Thank you for saving my boy. I knew he didn't do it, and I knew you could prove it. If only there was something I could do to show my utmost gratitude.
Rats?
Rat is good.
We'll take some rats.
It was pretty
They are
good.
the best people I've ever met. No one likes my rat, but you like my rat.
I love your
Get
rat.
you some rat. He's like happy, crying tears as he's like roasting up, like reheating a little bit of rat from the dinner rush and putting it on his little kebabs and skewers for you guys. Pouring you a nice, crispy, golden pint of ale, celebratory for Brick's security.
Yeah,
How's
nice.
Brick looking? Is Brick looking
How is Brick? Where'd he go?
relaxed?
Brick isn't down here. Skirtle, he tells you, lovely boy, as soon as he found out, he headed straight to bed. It's the first good sleep he's probably gotten in a while.
He's
I
not
can't
allowed.
thank you enough.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
No.
All right. Is
Uh,
there anything else you guys would like to do before bed? It is very late.
I had a thought while we were coming out of the lusty cistern. I'm not a family person myself, but I do have one, and they still live in below in the chaotic society of the Darrow, I could maybe send word. They tend to be on the outskirts of what's going on because we're not terribly respected, and honestly, we don't want to be part of the drama. But maybe they could tell us something.
No
Maybe
idea.
they could.
Oh,
Perhaps they could help.
How would you like to send word?
that's a good question. I think I'm gonna write up a letter. It's gonna look gnarly and chaotic, and I attach it to the back of Narla. And before I go to sleep, I whisper in Void for Narla to go home. And I slap her on the hiney, and I send her out into the wild blue yonder to find her way back to the Darrow community. It's kind of like a pigeon, but with more hooves.
You smack her little goat butt, and she just goes and makes her way out of the inn and slowly meanders in the direction towards your home.
Great, they'll get back to me,
city.
maybe. They are Darrow, of course.
That is
Guess
true.
We'll find out. Hey,
Um,
perfect.
All right. Anything else that anybody would like to do before sleepy time?
I'm good.
All right.
Oh, I was just
Oh.
gonna say that Solus is gonna finally sit down and finish that letter he was writing, and he's gonna. There's a lot of scratch rights, please. I just want to play a little D&D with my little friends. Please.
You're back.
My sweet
Cool.
souls.
He's gonna write this letter. There's a lot of scratched out and rewritten sentences in it, and he's gonna address it to the Royal Court of Dornig. He's sending that on its way, and I'll tell you what's in that later, Kenzie.
Absolutely. Hit me with it. Anything else?
Nope. Good to go.
Okay. You guys settle in for a well-deserved night of sleep. And that concludes chapter 1
Nice.
of Empire of the Ghouls. And also our session for today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. This one was one of my favorite sessions that we've gotten to do so far. I'm very excited to showcase more of the Midgard setting.
Nice.
It's super well constructed, and I'm a big lore nerd, so if you are too, go ahead and head to the Kobold Press website, get that world book. It's incredible. I'm Mackenzie. You can find me again, Twitter, at Kenzie the Han, and on Is Friday's channel on Sundays for Thrones and Bones, our wonderful art plebe.
Hello, my name is Sloan, aka Artplebe. My pronouns are they, them, and you can find me everywhere on the internet at Artplebe. That's ARTPLEBE. You can find me here playing Goosh. You can find me on the Welcome In on Friday nights playing my little druid Barney, and you can find me on Total Party Kiss on Saturdays and Sundays playing my paladin Matthias and my wizard Bastion, respectively. Yeah, let's go. Friday.
Hello, I am Is Friday. You can find me on Twitter, Is Friday TV. I do a lot of different stuff, including this. Thank you for watching. And Alex, go.
Hi, I'm Alex, pronouns he, him. You can find me on Twitter at ActorFeet, as well as on Sunday mornings on Thrones and Bones with Kenzie and Friday, and some other projects that are coming down the pipe here soon. I'm going to throw it over to my good friend Sawyer.
If Zoom will let me. Hi, I'm Sawyer. I use he, him pronouns. You can find me
There
on
go the rights.
TikTok at Queer Elf Club. You can revoke my rights immediately. Very cool, very fun. It snowed here, and so my internet is having the worst time.
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter at Queer Elf Club. You can, with underscores between the words. You can find me on Somewhere Bound, where I play my bard Fever Pitch or my Blood Hunter Lucy and Dantes. I'm gonna toss that over to Dot.
Hi, friends. I'm Little Red Dot, your resident Kobold Twitch producer, and your craziest Darrow. Make sure you're back here tomorrow for our Kobold chats. We're gonna have a very special one. We're interviewing a bunch of the writers who are currently going to be a part of our upcoming Grimoires 3 book release edition. For those of you that don't know what it is, all of our Patreon supporters help support extra writing from Kobold Press, including a series called the Warlock series. Because, get it, they're patrons. Anyways, and the Warlock series includes dungeons as well as extra content to help build out your tables, from like extra information around patrons and gods for things like the Ravenfolk classes or extra builds for your actual warlocks. Really cool stuff, but usually those only become available to our Patreon in print edition. And then when we get enough of them, we bind them into one big book, and we call them the Grimoires. And the next Grimoire is releasing, and we're going to be interviewing a ton of the writers that are a part of that. So drop by here tomorrow, Kobold Chats, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, we'll be back here next week with more Empire of the Ghouls. We've got some big announcements coming out for 2 new shows that I can talk about. One is called the... what is it called? Oh, yes, it's called Beast Bounties. We'll be partnering with a band of badgers from the UK to put that on. It will be just what it sounds like. It's a bounty hunting show where we hunt a Kobold Press beast once a month. And our brand new mini painting show is coming to Kobold Press. It's called Happy Little Kobolds. Once a month, we'll be inviting a mini painter from across the sphere of our industry to come sit down and try to teach me a non-mini painter a thing or two about painting minis. We're partnering with our good friends over at Effing Cool Minis, who make all of our beast into little miniatures. So we've got some cool stuff coming down the pipeline. So keep your eyes on our social media, as well as an upcoming Kickstarter, which I'm not allowed to say anything about. So you're gonna have to come back for me to spill those beans. Sorry, I can't. We put a teaser out today. A teaser went out today. Go check our social media for the teaser, but it is like a super teaser. So it's a little bit of a deep cut, but you might be able to do some guessing as to what it could possibly be. Other than that, same Kobold time, same Kobold channel next week. I imagine there will be just as much blood, but possibly less dancing. Possibly.
Maybe.
Who's to say?
Who's to say? You're never gonna know unless you're back here next week on Tuesday. We will see you then. Same Kobold time, same Kobold channel. Have a good night, everybody.